In episode 23 of Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, we leave Lima, Montana and tackle the roller coaster terrain of Idaho's rugged mountains, climbing and descending steep ridges towards Lemhi Pass. We pass through a lively bubble of southbound CDT hikers, sharing stories and advice about the trail ahead. At Lemhi Pass, I'm greeted by Bonnie from the Tendoy store. She and her husband Kelly welcome me with incredible hospitality. Their kindness and care are a welcome fuel for the journey ahead. Join us for an unforgettable adventure of tough trails and heartwarming encounters. This morning I'm madly running around getting a few things sorted for the next segment of the hike. I head to the gas station, which has proven to be a very good resupply place. They even stock semi-automatic weapons, which are on display on a glass cabinet. Good bear protection, but probably just a tad too heavy. Here we are back on trail after spending last night in Lima, Montana. Got dropped back off where we left last night by the owner of the motel. It's very good. We had a big meeting of all the fellow hikers, it seems, around the hiker bubble here in Lima. So there was Golden, Stinger and Raven, Robert and Karen Kukin. We met up with Trax. We met up with One Speed and Just Paul, plus Chip Crush and myself. So a bit of an all-round party. But following along, you can see Interstate 15 beside me. We walk along this way for a little while, and then we start to head up into a roller coaster of mountains up and down for the next 8 days. Here's a look back. So way out in the distance, that way is the Interstate 15. Now we've come up this valley all the way up through here, which was a steady rise up a road, and then we've done a big steep climb up here for about a mile and then cut across this way. Now if I zoom around this way, we've still got, you can see Chip Crusher going up the top of that hill. But the actual CDT goes all the way along the top of this ridge. So we chose, and it's got a steep at the start, so we chose to go the easy route along the road for the beginning rather than up and down all those big peaks. Back in Lima, we said goodbye to all our hiker friends. Golden is getting off trail and heading back to Pinedale to pick up his van. He's not sure if he'll continue after that. I hope he does though. It's a bit sad saying goodbye to him because we've enjoyed hiking around each other. Robert Kukin says to us he hopes to see us again, but if he does, it will be a miracle. He's a funny guy. He's waiting for another day for some more gear to turn up and they'll head out the next. We have 2 segments of about 125 miles each coming up. The first is to Tendoy, Idaho, and the next is to Darby, Montana. I'm hoping and budgeting food-wise to get them both done in 4 days each. So it'll be a big 30+ mile days over the next week. Let's hope the mountains aren't too cruel. This is the physical borderline between Idaho and Montana. So we're following this ridge up and down, up and down, up and down, all these mountains. So this is Idaho out to the west. And then we look out to the northeast, we have Montana. This is Tony from Massachusetts, who has just had the extreme misfortune of accidentally setting off his bear spray. It went all over his pack and partly over him. He says his shoulders are burning from where the spray has settled on his straps. We have to drop steeply down off this ridge to find a spring for tonight's water. It's only about 400 metres or a quarter mile down, which is not a big deal, but the return journey with all the extra weight of the water has me working hard. It's all up through sagebrush, which does its best to trip me at every opportunity. Back on the ridge and at the top of the next rise sits a saddle, and there is plenty of room for 2 tents. Not only that, we have awesome views as well. Well, I think this is the hot favourite to win best campsite with a view on tour. Pretty amazing being high up on this peak. Big views, 360 degrees all the way around. We are straight back into it this morning, climbing high peaks. The dinosaur graveyard continues and we are going over the steepest of mountains in the area. Some I can thankfully cut around the side of near the top, which gives me a nice breather for a short while. Then it is a steep descent only to start climbing and do it all over again. This is what I'm doing all day today. You'll see winding path down there, up that ridge, down that one, up that one, down that one, and then right to the top. What fun! Idaho, Montana, Idaho, Montana. There's a small herd of elk down there. Wonder when they'll recognise. Oh, there they go. They just spotted me now. Now they're on the move. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. After a hard-working morning, we start to descend down a ridge and come to Scheinberger Creek. It is time to stock up on some cold, clear water before we head back up. We get a reasonable amount of downward travel to recover from this morning's climbing though. Next we hit Little Beaver Creek and we enter a beautiful forest which is a welcome relief from the early morning sun. It's only 9:30 AM but it is already hot. Unfortunately, it is only a brief respite as it's not long before we are through the forest and back out into the open. Is it bad of me to say I don't like it when I see mountains like this in the distance? They're nice to look at, but it usually means we're going up and over them. That part I don't like. Remember when I said I see big mountains in the distance? I invariably end up going over them. And so it's the case with this one too. So trailhead obviously, but we're going to wind up and up over this pass here, somewhere through there. It's about 3 miles, 5 k's, about halfway through. Yeah, halfway. Ever wanted to know what's on the other side of the mountain? We're about to find out together. That was a 5 k's a struggle. Not too bad because I had a couple little breaks in it. I'm glad to be at the top. There we go. So we're not quite at the top. Just got to keep going up that way. All the hard work this morning pays off as after lunch we start to head down off the main ridge. It's a decent drop that goes on for a good few miles, but on the CDT what goes down must go up, and the next big climb rises over 1,500 feet in 3 miles or 5 k's. This is interesting coloured water. Let's see how it tastes. Once again in the afternoon, we're getting caught high up on a ridge with the thunderstorms rolling in. It's pouring rain out there. And we're sort of there's another one heading in that direction. So we're just about at the top now. So hopefully this descends down the other side pretty quickly. There's a fair bit of lightning going on over there now. Whereas before I didn't see that much. It was more just the thunder. It's been such a hot day. Now we're getting to the end. It's about 20 to 5, quarter to 5. fun sun finally disappears and gives us a break. In Colorado, we made it through there early enough that we missed its afternoon thunderstorms, but it is not the case here in Idaho, Montana. It's quite sunny, believe it or not, even though it's cloudy out there, but we're getting smashed with rain and hail. Another day in paradise. Despite the hail and rain, we've missed the worst of the lightning, so that's the main thing. Up ahead, we bump into our favourite Sobo hikers in Solar and Luna. We stand around and have a catch-up, despite the pouring rain. I assume we'll catch up with them in another 3 or 4 days, as they continue flipping north by driving their car and then hiking south. Yeah, it's 20 to 7 at night. Done 45k so far. Got about 5k's to go. The first, or the next k is going to be a fun one. So we wind up this road and up and over that saddle, that hill straight ahead. It's a funny end to the day. I take my rain gear off and no sooner does it start to spit rain on us again. It's not cold, in fact the breeze is quite warm. Out to the left and right it is still raining quite heavily, but thankfully it is now cleared for us. After 30 miles or 48 kilometres, we reach where we want to camp. The only problem is we are banking on there being water in Little Dead Man Creek, and to get it requires a hike down the mountain. When we get there, it is a breeding ground for mosquitoes and there is not much of a flow, but good enough for us to gather some. So with that done, we don our packs and head back up the hill to where we spied a couple of good campsites. It's been a big 30-mile day, which is a great result considering the amount of elevation gain and loss we have endured. Plus it keeps me on track to get as many miles done as possible to get me to Canada in quick time. One final thing to note, I've again left my spoon behind at lunch today. So, to eat my lasagna and meat sauce dinner, I have to resort to using a tent stake. I think we are still 3 days out of Tendoy, so lunch and dinner will be a bit of a challenge until then. I get to experience a fantastic sunrise this morning as the sun rises up over the mountains we climbed over yesterday. While it's just after 6 AM, there is already a warm summer's breeze blowing. I think it's going to be a hot one today. It's mid-morning now and my thoughts about it being a hot day are proven correct. It is so hot already, I am baking in the open sun. When I get to Harkness Lakes, I take the opportunity to rinse my shirt off and put it back on dripping wet. Ah, that's better. I do my hat too. For the next half an hour or so, I'll feel much cooler. This certainly helps a lot as I climb up over the next mountain. Finally, after 4.5 hours, we get out of the sun and into this nice, shady, green forest. Beautiful. Well, unfortunately, the time in the shady forest was short-lived. It's back out in the sun, and typically we're climbing high. Got that big monster ahead. Now we're going up that way and out through a pass over that direction to the right. This is what happens when you lose the trail, or actually a little something's just turned up here. It's not the official trail, but you end up just bushwhacking, usually back up a hill, tripping over logs, sage bushes, rocks, coming to dead ends like this one, but eventually you get back there. We are continuing the roller coaster of ups and downs. There are about 6 really decent climbs today, and they are so steep. The sort where I just get one foot marginally in front of the other. They are hard work and exhausting, but bit by bit I get over the top. This is the next mountain of the day we have to get up and over, and it's going to be a steep one. While I'm inching my way up, I meet my first solo hiker for the day in Sani. It's now 2 p.m. and an afternoon storm is brewing. This is much earlier than yesterday's storm, but typically I am caught as I climb higher up onto a vast open mountaintop. It's a bit grey, and as per usual lately, when I'm high up on the ridge, the afternoon storms roll in, and so it is today. But the view is still spectacular, even though it is a bit dreary. That's the way we're heading, up over there. The problem of being high and out in the open is I have nowhere really to hide or take shelter from the lightning and thunder. I think the storm is moving away from me, but it is not going away anywhere fast. I'm so exposed I'm not sure what to do. If I keep pushing, I have to go higher, which is not ideal, but then again, I don't want to go back down because it's a long way to any other kind of shelter. I am stuck in no man's land. Hoping that I'm just out of the storm's range, I push on over the top and go as quick as I can. There is nowhere to hide, so I just keep on moving and pray I'll be okay. Well, I dodged the scary thunderstorm. You can see it's black out there now. But as I swing around to where I am, it's back to baking in the sunshine and blue sky. You can see the storm's finally cleared up, still a bit grey, but that's okay. Much cooler. It's nearly 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Done 39 kilometres, and hopefully we can push on and get 50 out again today. So another 2.5 hours perhaps. So 7:30 finish. That'd be nice. Maybe 8:45, we'll see. At 6:30 p.m. I stop at Morrison Lake to gather some water. I wouldn't mind camping there, but it is still a bit too early to stop for the day, as I've only done about 45 kilometres. My goal is to try and do 50 kilometres per day now. I get talking to some locals and it doesn't take long for half an hour to disappear. Trying to push on and get up over the last mountain for the day. Not what I wanted to finish the day off with though. Coming down the mountain are some more Sobo hikers hiking late into the evening. First up I meet Dexter with his braided long hair, and not long later his hiking partner, Pay It Forward, arrives. Again I get caught chatting, but it is great to hear the other hikers' stories. I'm able to give them some advice on the upcoming water situation, and then we continue on. Up a bit farther I meet Gutless. He tells me he did a huge road walk to begin his journey from the Canadian border. He passes on the route he took, so that will help me with my planning. With all the chatting going on, I miss out on my goal of 50 kilometres for the day, but only just. 49 kilometres or a bit over 30 miles is a good day. By the time I cook dinner and set the tent, it is another late one, but still I've had a great day. Off and at it this morning. Clear blue sky. It's going to be another hot one. Yesterday I got to 36. And we're still climbing. But most of the hard work was done yesterday, before this morning anyway. The roller coaster continues. We're heading up over that little hill there. And that's the view out to the west. There's nothing worse than false summits when you're climbing a hill, especially first thing in the morning. I thought the summit was this one just here, after a couple down there. And then I thought, alright, I've got one more, and it was just here. But it looks like still got another couple 100 metres to go. Look how good these Sobos get it. I've got about 200 metres of downhill, and then about 600 or 700 metres of uphill. Yet if I was going south, it'd be a whole heap better. The last marker pole I was in Montana, and now we swap back into Idaho. But still following this ridge line. Still up and down. You can see the road going over that hill. Then it winds back down around to the left, goes up over those mountains. Here's a look back. You'll see we've been following over, oops, here we go, over these ridges here, down that one, and up this one, and got to the top of that peak there, and I thought, oh, I'll do a little sneaky. So I cut across the side of this mountain here, and when I look back at the video, or when I look here, looks rather steep, much steeper than what it felt like as I was traversing around the side. It saved my heart rate from going to max, so that helps. These mountains just won't quit today. Down the road, steep drop there, steep up here, across this ridge, and then the road goes up over the top again. And we'll do it all over, no doubt. I wonder if Uber does rides out here. I sure could use one to get up this. Well, that wasn't too bad actually. Funnily enough, I think when you can actually see what you're climbing, it makes it worse. I know I've climbed heaps longer and heaps steeper for longer than what I just did then. So I think just when you can view where you have to go, makes it that bit harder. I know one thing, I'm getting very good at counting to 100. When it gets steep, I just try and count out 100 steps before I take a break. Otherwise you'd be stopping every 10 metres. Let the lactic acid dissipate. But still carrying on. About 5 miles I've got Elk Mountain coming up, which is over 10,000 feet. So we'll push on to there. Here is TP Mountain in the foreground here, and back up behind it, that high peak in the middle there is Elk Mountain, 3,099 metres high, and that is where we're going next. So as per usual, we've got to lose a whole heap of elevation, drop way down deep, and then got to climb all the way back up again. Alrighty, I'm at the base of the climb up to Elk Mountain. I've got 2.5 miles, 4 Ks, and about 1700 or 1800 feet of elevation going. Now let's get the party started. Off we go. I'm halfway up Elk Mountain, and this is the spring with 2 Ks to go to the summit. But the thing is, this is the last water source for the next 26 kilometres. So now I'm fully loaded with water, just to add to my pack to get over the top. And then it's a long way, up and down, still on the roller coaster, till the next water source though. It's pretty hot out here. Could be a long afternoon. Made it to the top of Elk Mountain, 10,177 feet. And the best part is, this is the last time we'll go over 10,000 feet between here and Canada. Doesn't mean we haven't got any more mountains to go. We've got heaps. They just don't come up as high as this one. Here's my view. Pretty good. Sort of on the way down now. Go down a little bit there and back up, across and down, up and down, all the way along this ridge. All the way up to there. Over Elk Mountain, and for the first time in a while I get to enjoy some extended downhill travel. I'm here at Bannock Pass, elevation of nearly 7,700 feet. And this is the main, well, it's Highway 29, it's only a dirt road, but it's the main road down into the town of Ledor, where most hikers go. But we chose to go into Tendoy, as I've said, because I've heard it's a pretty hard hitch here. And when I have a look around, I'd hate to be waiting here for a car to come by and hopefully give me a lift. Some guy's up here camping, he's got a good setup. But as for me, I've still got about another 30 miles to Tendoy for tomorrow. Hopefully I can get about, no not 30, maybe about 25 or 6. Hopefully I can get 5 or 6 more done today and get the rest done tomorrow. Out of Bannock Pass, I was enjoying the road walk so much I missed the junction where the trail turns off. I could bushwhack about 500 metres up to the ridge, but I decide to continue on the road. I'm making good time despite this way being longer. The road is a better surface, and despite going uphill, the gradient is more accommodating. The only problem is the spring where I'm going to get water for the night is up on the trail. So at some point I'm going to have to cut up to find it. After 26 kilometres or 14 miles, I definitely need water. I find the spring and stock up for the night and for the next morning. The next source is another 8 miles away, so another reasonably long carry. I continue on for 5 kilometres where I set up on the edge of a forest in a prairie, and then something unnerving happens. So before I just camped, all the cattle just went stampeding off down the hill. And now 10 minutes later, Sounds like a whole pack of wolves howling. I went to sleep concerned about the wolves last night, but I never heard them again after the group howling and barking. I made it through the night, so that's the main thing. I'll give you a look where I camped last night, where I've come from, which is over here. So I was on the edge of this forest, came down across this mountain, around this mountain, and then zigzagging up this hill. And then where we are going is up this hill. And once we get across the top, then we get over onto this ridge line. Up and over that way. Early on, I bump into Skipper, and followed closely behind him is Mantis and Moneymaker. I'm enjoying meeting these fellow hikers and swapping stories about what's up ahead on the trail. Not long later, I meet Tink Tank. There's some kind of chicken on the trail up here. The trail continues to take me up and over mountains and along ridges. After 5.5 hours, I've managed to complete 20 kilometres or about 12 miles. It's been very hilly this morning with some tough climbs. I feel like I'm not going that great, but my time says otherwise. It's the really steep sections that just sap me. I think knowing that I have a shorter day makes me want it over sooner. With 4 big days just gone and another 4 coming up, I've been feeling a bit weary. I must say I've discovered performance-enhancing drugs. I normally add Propel to my water, which is an electrolyte mix made by Gatorade, but it is proving hard to come across lately. At a grocery store, I found these drink mixes that have caffeine in them. Being a non-tea or coffee drinker, let me tell you, they help. If only they made Red Bull in a packet. I'm getting closer and closer to these big mountains there in the background. With 8 miles into Tendoy, I'm over the worst of the day. There's not much to report trail-wise. It's nearly been all gravel road or ATV tracks. Rocky and slippery in places. When it gets steep downhill, it's like trying to walk on square marbles. Very dangerous. The day started off cooler than the last couple, but it's hot now with little shade. I've been procrastinating a fair bit today. I I just can't keep moving consistently. I think in my mind I only have 20 miles, and so any excuse or reason to stop I take. Over the last big climb I check my phone and find I have phone service. I decide to sit down on the side of the road and download some new songs to my phone. I haven't listened to much music along the way, but I've been on my own for the last 3 days, so it helps to pass the time. After losing my last phone and the songs, I know Jackie will be devastated to hear this, that were on it, I've done the small loop over and over of these songs, so Spotify comes to my rescue. How good are some people? So I think this is from Kayleen S and Peggy D. Great work. Some trail magic. Some water out here in the high desert. That's what I need. Thank you very much. This doesn't look very promising. So this is Lemhi Pass, the intersection where I'm hoping to get a hitch to Tendoy to pick up my resupply box. But just like the road into Idaho, it's just a dirt road and it doesn't look like there's much happening around here. I could be waiting a while. Hopefully not, we'll see. I get to Lemhi Pass and it is a 5-way intersection, but it is just barren gravel roads in every direction. Paulie rings the Tendoy store for me as they will come and pick you up from the pass. She confirms they are on the way, but just 10 minutes later 2 hikers, happy dancing all in, drive by and ask if I need a lift. I decline as I am now organised, but they couldn't be friendlier, offering all manner of things such as food and drink. Hopefully I'll catch up with them again as they are doing the car leapfrog thing while hiking. Bonnie from the store turns up and I load my stuff in the back of the truck and we begin the 13-mile descent down a rough dirt road to Tendoy. On the way, Bonnie fills me in on the amazing history associated with Lemhi Pass and Tendoy. This area is the real original Wild West. Down at the store I meet Bonnie's husband Kelly. 2 nicer people I will not meet on the entire CDT. They are amazingly hospitable and welcoming. Kelly lets me set up my tent at the side of the store in front of his mother's house. Once that's done, Bonnie takes me up to her house for a shower. When I come back, Kelly cooks me a pizza and Bonnie loads me up with some of her home-cooked yum yum cake. Just sensational. At the store I meet Jerry, who is also camping overnight as his car has broken down right outside the store. Later, another hiker named Maple arrives. Poor Maple comes hobbling in as she has sprained her ankle about a week and a half ago. She is struggling but forging on regardless. She's super tough. Then later that night, Chip Crush arrives after getting a hitch. So it's a full house in the yard tonight.